Year's to everybody who's out there. Hope everybody has safe and happy holiday, and hopefully 2021 brings us some better news than 2020 did. It's now 5 o'clock. We'll call to order the select board meeting for today, Monday, January 4th, 2021. If you please join me for the pledge of allegiance this time. Thank you. One nation under God, liberty. Okay. Right. Because everybody's not here, I'm just going to kind of do a roll call check. Jay, there?
I'm right here.
All right, thank you. All right, so we'll start off with citizen participation. Do we have any citizen participation this evening?
Glenn, I have a comment. Rich Demaraki.
Okay, Rich.
Are the updated bylaws going to be approved or disapproved at the next town meeting?
I believe that is our plan to get them approved at the next town meeting.
Okay, I found it interesting that both Chicopee and Holyoke are in a pickle now because both of them are trying. They finally realized that they can't recall anybody without a bylaw. So I think we're ahead of the game, as far as those communities go. But I was just curious whether they were going to be brought forward at the annual town meeting.
Yeah, that is our plan, and I know the bylaw review committee has been working very hard on it. So our plan is for our next town meeting to have those ready and move forward with them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Is there anybody else from let's say the audience? Is there anybody else any comment they wish to make at this time? Questions? All right. Well, thank you very much. Chris?
Nothing under town administrator.
All right, well, moving forward, we have departmental reports at this time. Ken, Jay, anybody have time to review the departmental reports? Any questions, comments, concerns?
No, I have no issues with the department reports.
I'll move to accept the departmental reports.
I'll second Jed's motion.
Aye.
Okay. I don't know if everybody heard me, but all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. That. We have the approve and sign maintenance warrants at this time. Ken and Chris.
Okay, we have payroll warrant number 36 dated 12/11/20 in the amount of $507,231.91. We have payroll maintenance warrant number 37 dated 12/11/20 in the amount of $231,527.56. We have a bill paying warrant number 38 dated 12/18/2020 in the amount of $364,423.81. We have another payroll warrant number 39 dated 12/23/20 in the amount of $429,825.48. We have a payroll maintenance warrant number 40, dated 12/23/2020, in the amount of $360,891.88. And we have a bill paying warrant number 41, dated 12/31/2020, in the amount of $193,541.17.
All right, thank you, Chris. Is there any questions in regards to the maintenance warrants? No? This time we'll entertain a motion, accept and approve the maintenance warrants.
I move to approve and sign the maintenance warrants.
I'll second Jen's motion.
Is there any further discussion at this time? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, folks. We have affirm appointments for the Finance Committee.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I was notified by Lynn Mercier, our town moderator, that she wishes to appoint or have the board appoint Joe Fernia to the Finance Committee.
Is there any questions or comments in regards to that?
Joe had served on the Finance Committee in the past. He was on the Hampshire Council of Governments. He was our representative there. And I believe he is still a member of the Housing Authority. So, but he did express an interest of reserving on the Finance Committee again.
All right. Anything else from Jen or Jay?
Nope.
No. Entertain a motion. 4.2.
I'll move to appoint Joe Fernia to the Finance Committee.
I'll second Jen's motion.
All right. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Well, Joe, if you're out there and you happen to see this, thank you, based on from the select board. Thank you very much for your interest and also serve on the Finance Committee. You know, we greatly appreciate that. I'm sure as well as the town does as well. So, thank you. Moving forward, we have approved and signed common vic licenses for 2021.
I'm going to read them. I'm going to read them going.
Well, in that case, Chris.
Okay. We have license number 21-05 for Granby Pharmacy, Inc., doing business as Center Pharmacy, 242 State Street, Granby, Mass., expiring December 31st, 2021, and the fee is $25. We have number 21-06, Something Special Catering Service, 181 West State Street, Granby, Mass., expiring December 31st, 2021, fee of $25. We have number 21-07, Five Corner Cuts LLC, 77 West State Street, Granby, Mass., expiring December 31st, 2021, fee of $25. We have number 21-08, Subway of Westfield, doing business as Subway number 54290, 47 West State Street, Granby, Mass., expiring December 31st, 2021, fee of $25. We have number 21-09, AAH Corp., Dunkin Donuts, at 77 West State Street, Granby, Mass., expiring December 31st, 2021, fee of $25. We have number 21-10, David Pekeski, doing business as Dave's Natural Garden, 35 Amherst Street, expiring December 31st, 2021, fee of $25. Number 21-11, CCLI Corp., doing business as Little Italy Pizzeria, 56 West State Street, expiring December 31st, 2021, fee of $25. Number 21-12, Immaculate Heart of Mary, 256 State Street, Granby, expiring December 31st, 2021. On this one, I am requesting that the board waive the fee of $25 as they are a nonprofit in the town of Granby. I have number 21-13, Granby Booster Club, 385 East State Street, expiring December 31st, 2021. Again, I am requesting the waiver of the $25 fee as they are a nonprofit in the town of Granby. We have number 21-14, the Flams Garden Center, doing business as Dickinson Farms, 134 South Street, expiring December 31st, 2021, for a fee of $25. Number 21-15, Dickinson Farms, 309 East State Street, expiring December 31st, 2021, for a fee of $25.
Oh, thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Is there any questions or concerns in regards to the common vic licenses as read by Mr. Martin?
The only thing that I'd say is the city of West Springfield is waiving all the fees on their restaurants. I mean, it's a token of amount of money, and because we all know the restaurants have been hurt so much, just something to consider. I mean, $25, we just show them we would like them to stay here. It's up to you guys. You can waive them on the, you don't waive them on the nonprofits. We only have very few restaurants anyway. Just consider it, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to JJ on that. I think that's a good goodwill gesture to the restaurants in town, especially during this time. Jen, your thoughts on that?
Chris, can you give me a quick total of what the fees would be if they were waived? What the loss of revenue would be?
For all, be about $400 over the course of a year, maybe.
For just the restaurants, I don't think it would be that high.
No, that's just restaurants.
That Chris said that'll be all of, that's not all the restaurants, it's just all of them. That's all of the vic licenses.
It's not a lot of money. That's,
What do you have, like 4, 5 restaurants in town?
Well, you go with Subway, you've got Cumberland Farms, you've got Cindy's Drive-In. I think those are basically all the restaurants we have now.
But I guess we would come into, why are we going to waive for restaurants and not others that have common vic licenses? I guess that would be my concern. I don't have a problem with it, but I can see our other businesses that sell foods hurting just as much as our restaurants. Dickinson's, Sapowski's, if that makes sense.
What the farms told me, they actually made more money this year than they have in the past, because a lot of people would rather go to farm stands to buy their vegetables than go into an inside supermarket. So I was just thinking the plain indoor restaurants that normally serve food inside.
Right, and I know, yeah, in regards to that too, Jay, I know there's a lot of restrictions that were passed, but that were placed on the restaurants, that cost them additional money this year to accommodate, outside guests and things like that, whether it's just takeout or it's inside, and just also the restaurants, limiting the capacity of people that can come in there too, as well. So I think it's a goodwill gesture. Probably talking 5 or 6 restaurants in town, maybe at most 7 at the very most. I do think it's something to consider. We're always talking about helping out our businesses and things like that in town. I think this is a small thing, but I think it's a nice gesture.
And it's not my idea. The city of West Springfield did it. That's
Yeah.
where I heard about it.
Well,
I have a question and I'm not against it, so I just want that known. But my question is for you two, is we're already fairly confident that these restrictions aren't going to be lifted anytime, at least the first half of this year. So are we willing to start somewhat of a precedence by doing this if this continues throughout the year? And what do we do next January? Do we waive them again?
Well, I think
At some point, we have to.
we have to look at next January and see what the circumstances are at that point to make any decisions. I wouldn't make it a precedent or anything. Right now, our restaurants can open. If they open very limited, because if you look at the few small ones we have, they don't have any room inside even to sit people down. Like Pizza Palace is takeout only. Little Italy is takeout only. I'm not sure about Subway. I'm not sure if he allows 1 or 2 customers in there or not, but it's not a very big place.
Mr. Chair, can I ask a question?
yes.
When we issued the liquor licenses, we didn't waive the fees for the beer and wine licenses for these places that we are now waiving for the restaurant portion. Are we waiving those fees also?
I wouldn't
I mean,
waive the
this is
liquor
the slippery
license.
slope that we're heading down.
Well, I look at this as a license for them to operate for the year. The liquor license is for them to sell alcohol in their place of business. So I look at it a little bit different, as to this, because this is their fee, if you will, to operate their business in town for the year.
But liquor sales would be down in the Little Italy's, the Pizza Palaces, places like that, due to the restrictions of being able to dine inside as a result of the governor's orders.
Right. No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is that we're considering waiving your fee to do business in the town of Granby. As far as your license, so you can be open as a restaurant in the town of Granby. That's kind of the way I look at it. Your beer and wine, to sell alcohol that's just part of your business. What you do, it's not actually what you do. It's not like it's not a liquor store. That's their primary business. I don't know. I think like we have Pizza Palace might be the only one that has a liquor license. Little Italy doesn't. Subway doesn't. Cumberland Farms doesn't. So I think the only one that may be is Pizza Palace.
And I wouldn't even consider Cumberland Farms because that's just not a restaurant. It's a convenience store.
They are considered a restaurant because they do have tables in there that have been closed for the pandemic.
And I can honestly say I've seen there and before the pandemic, people sitting in there and stuff like that, having coffee and stuff like that. So that raised the question too, as far as Dunkin Donuts as well.
Dunkin Donuts, and yeah, I mean, we're opening up a big box right now.
But even so, I mean, if it's 7, 8 restaurants, it's $200. I think it's a small amount of money. But I also think it's a good gesture from the town to say, we appreciate you in our town and understand that you haven't gone through some tough times as a restaurant. Because if you look at some of the restrictions that come out from the governor, restaurants are probably one of the hardest hit as far as trying to continue to do business. So, like I said, I think it's a small amount of money, but I think it's a big gesture to do something like that for them. The only way to move forward with this is someone wants to bring a motion that we not charge the restaurants in the town the common vic license fee.
I'll make the motion that we not charge the restaurants their common vic license fee of $25 for this year due to the hardships caused by COVID-19.
I'll second Jay's motion.
Can I just ask for clarification on what exactly we are discussing as restaurant? I'm guessing Subway, Cindy's, Little Italy, Pizza Palace. Are we going to put Dunkin' in there and Cumbies as they do have seating?
Well, they are considered restaurants. I mean, if you
Well, that's
serve
what I'm
food,
asking.
yeah.
So I'm just asking for clarification. That way we don't have,
Or anywhere that they have food service. And I think the Board of Health could determine who has food service because they have to inspect them, right? Wouldn't that be correct, Chris?
So based upon your proposed motion, we are going to waive the fee for something special catering or not?
do they have, are they,
I believe they do have some tables in there, or are they still going to the planning board for that?
I don't know what they're doing exactly right now. I know they did have
Okay, so you got
tables.
Subway. You're going to waive the $25 fee. Dunkin Donuts, you're going to waive the $25 fee. How about Dave's Natural Garden? No, because he doesn't have
no,
seats. Little Italy Pizzeria, we're going to waive. And that's it. Or question, Dickinson Farms
They don't serve food.
on East State Street. Do they have
They-
tables in there, or they just,
No,
is that all takeout, even the bakery and all that, it's all takeout?
Yep.
Okay.
yeah, like I said, my thing is people that, the restaurants that's been affected that people can't come in and sit down, eat and stuff like that. So pretty much everything's become a takeout business. So, all right. Is there any further discussion in regards to it? No? All right. All in favor?
I,
Aye. All right. There we go. Thank you, Jay, for bringing that up. I think that's a good thought.
I say it was the City of West Springfield idea. It wasn't mine, but I thought it was
But-
nice.
So bringing it forward, I think, Chris, if we could send some type of letter from the board acknowledging due to recent times of pandemic and restrictions, the board has considered and approved to waive your common vic license for 2021 or something to that effect.
And just so the people understand, Glenn, we're only waiving $25 per establishment. It's not a
Right.
big deal of money. It's more of a gesture than anything else like that.
And that's kind of what they said, Jay, too. It's not a big amount of money, but to me, it is a big gesture to take knowledge and take notice of that. Okay, moving forward, we have the 2021 entertainment licenses. Chris?
Okay, we have one license. It's number 21-02 for the Immaculate Heart of Mary Church, 256 State Street, for an entertainment license to provide entertainment, live band, and DJs for events to be held on the grounds of the Immaculate Heart of Mary Church, located at 256 State Street, expiring December 31st, 2021, for a fee of $50, and I am requesting that that fee be waived also, as they are a nonprofit.
Okay, so before we move forward with that, on our common vic licenses, I know do we approve all of them, or do we just approve the restaurants, not the waive their fee? We did approve, like, I was trying to remember now.
The reason I went back and reread them is so we know which ones we waived the fee on versus the ones we didn't waive the fee on. Other than that, we are approving all the licenses that were granted.
Okay, I just want to make sure that's how I took it. Okay, I'm fine with that. I just want to make sure that, you know, we were going one way, then we kind of backtracked a little bit and started talking about something else. I just want to make sure that we did follow through with that.
And I think your idea of putting a letter with their license stating what we did is good for the town itself.
Yeah. All right, so now we have the entertainment license. We just have that one, so there's a motion on the table to approve the license, sign the license.
I'll move to approve the 2021 entertainment license as read by Chris.
I will
Thank you,
second
Jay.
Jen's motion.
Thank you, Jay. All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Next, we have Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3 licenses for 2021. Chris?
Okay, I have a Class 1 license number 01-0001, Suzuki of Western Mass, Inc., doing business as All Power, 43 West State Street, a building, 5,000 square feet, 2 rooms, 1 room used for storage and service, 1 room used for display and selling. Restrictions: no more than 5 in-trade automobiles or pickup trucks at any one time on licensed property. Expiring December 31st, 2021, and it's a fee of $50.
Any questions, comments in regards to the license?
I have no comment.
We'll accept the motion at this time.
I'll move to approve as read by Chris.
I will second Jen's motion.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Jay. Any further discussion at this time? Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Chris, do you have anything else before I go into the old business?
We have Class 2.
Oh.
That was only Class 1 license.
Looks like Class 1. Okay, I guess we have Class 2 and Class 3 still.
Yep. Okay, we have license number 2-0002, a Class 2 to buy and sell secondhand motor vehicles, to AMAJ Inc., doing business as AJ's Auto Body, 39 West State Street, Granby, Mass. It's a metal Butler building on Route 202, some frontage for placement of cars for resale, storage in rear of building for non-repaired cars. Restrictions: no more than 6 used motor vehicles for sale at one time. Vehicles with major damage waiting to be repaired must be stored out of sight or inside of the building. This expires on December 31st, 2021, and it's a fee of $50. On this one, I did speak with the owner of AJ's, and he is increasing the number of parking or cars that he wants to be able to have on the site. He has his current license for 2020 had 5 customer cars, 3 cars for under repair, 6 used cars for resale. Under his new plan, he has 6 spots for employee parking. He has 3 cars under repair. He has 8 for customer parking, 6 used cars, and then he has another 7 for cars under repair. When you're looking at the building, it's on the left-hand side of the building. And I had concerns over the wetlands right there, but he indicated to me that those cars are basic cars waiting to be painted and that they would be parked on the blacktop that is on site. The only concern I had is it seems like there's a large increase in the number of cars on the site. And I don't know if the planning board had ever gone through the process of looking at this when he took over the Yankee Glass portion of the building to see if the site can support the number of cars he's asking to increase to.
Yeah, I would recommend that he takes that to the planning board, changing of the site plan. And I know there is the wetlands on the left-hand side. And I know from my time on the planning board, we did approve a site plan for what he currently has. So if that's changing, that's something that needs to be looked at as to where the vehicles can be parked and things like that, most definitely. So that'd be, I would recommend that he brings that up to the planning board and let them decide what they'd like to do with that.
So do we want to approve this license contingent upon him approaching the planning board for a site plan review of the proposed number of cars to be located on the site?
I'd rather have the approved site plan beforehand, before we approve the license.
Okay, so we'll hold off on this until we can send a letter requesting him to do so. And we get something from planning.
Yes, that would be my suggestion. Plus someone that feels different on the board.
This is not gonna cost him any money or anything like that. It's just parking spaces you're talking about, right?
Well, it seems like it's parking spaces and then additional used cars for sale, which I guess is parking spaces, but yes. Just more use of the space that's outside right now.
Yeah.
Chris, what are the repercussions to his business if we don't approve the license tonight? Are there any?
Yeah, he wouldn't be able to buy or sell any secondhand motor vehicles. Because his
Exactly.
license would be expired, or actually is expired as of December 31st.
Yeah, well, that's why I was asking, is there any monetary issue? Can we just approve the license for the same as last year? And if he wants to go to the planning board to extend his site plan, he can do that, and then we can address the license once the planning board looks at it and approves his site plan.
But what is he asking for on his license for approval though? Is he asking for the additional piece as approval, or is he asking him for last year?
I would recommend we just approve what he had for last year, subject to the approval of the planning board for a new site plan, and then we'll address it then.
The license last year, Jag, he had filed a site plan drawing with fewer cars listed for the
Mhm.
site. Now that he has taken over Yankee Glass, when he submitted his site plan drawing, he included more cars than were listed at last year's drawing.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I think Glenn is correct on our bylaws. If they're gonna increase the parking, they have to go to the planning board before they even come to us. Right, Glenn?
Right, he's changing his site plan. The site plan was approved for his business as such. Now he's looking to change that site plan.
So I would say we should approve his license the same as last year, so we don't affect him monetarily. And then he can go to the planning board, get his site plan updated, and then we'll go from there. Because I don't want to hold off him not making any money because we're not improving any license at all.
Do we have to approve the license as written when it was applied for? I guess my question is would it make sense to approve it pending, because we can revoke it if that becomes,
Well, the proper procedure is he should have gone to the planning board first.
I understand that it didn't, but now how do we deal with it, I guess is the question.
The answer for you, Jen, is this. The license, the only restrictions on the license at this point in time is he can't have more than 6 used cars for sale on the property. There's no other mention about any other number of vehicles on the site. It doesn't mention about employee parking. It doesn't mention about anything else. However, when he submitted his site plan proposal for his renewal for this year is when he added all these new vehicles onto it.
Right, that's why I'm asking, are we required to approve the license as written when applied for, or can we approve it with our own restrictions?
What other restrictions would you put on it? Because the restriction that's on it now for 2021 is the same that was on it for 2020.
And I don't see the problem.
Okay, it's just that when we look at it and the building inspector goes out and looks at his proposed site plan and where he's parking vehicles, he really can't say that he meets what the license is issued for, because now he has employee parking on it. He has additional parking on the, as I said, when you're looking at the building, on the left-hand side of the building that wasn't there before. He's increased the amount of customer parking, and he's now identifying employee parking on site. Okay, that wasn't identified in prior drawings.
Okay, and I'm understanding where this is going. So I guess now my thought process is, if we're approving the license for as it is written, then anything opposed to that would be zoning enforcement officers' job to deal with. So if he does have more vehicles than we have on the license that we approved, then that's not our problem. We are approving it as it was asked for. Correct? Or am I completely
No, I
off
think
base
you're
here?
I think you're on base. We're approving it as was written on the license. We're not approving it for what he wishes to do.
Right, so I'm guessing if we approve this as it's written on the license, so we're not impacting his sales or anything like that by not approving his license, which would allow him to not sell anything or buy anything to put on that lot. If we're approving it for 6 vehicles and we find that there is more than that on there, that becomes the zoning enforcement officer's issue to deal with, correct? We can then revoke the license as needed.
I would let the zoning enforcement officer handle it his appropriate way and move him over to the planning board where he should have gone already.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
That the board approve the license as written with the current restrictions. But a
Agreed.
letter also be sent to him and CC'd to the planning board and the building inspector or the zoning enforcement officer, indicating that we believe that with the the way his current site plan was drawn as submitted for the 2021 license, that he needs to contact the planning board and go before them for another site plan approval for the employee parking, the additional customer parking, the additional slots for repair cars or cars to be repaired or in the process of being repaired, that he needs to go to the planning board to get approval for those additional slots.
I think Chris is 100% correct.
Glenn, you've been very quiet over there.
I've been looking at his site plan. So currently sells 6 used cars. That's what it's licensed for. He's not looking to increase that. No. So what I look at is the site plan that they put together here.
Sounds like it doesn't match the license.
Well, no, it does, because he's looking to sell 6 used cars. That's what he did in the past. He's asking for the same thing. He's not looking to increase selling used more cars there. He's looking to take over the space that was occupied by the glass company. So obviously they had employees at that place. They had parking for them as well. So he's just kind of taking over that area. So with that all being his area now, it's a new site plan, which I don't see there be an issue with a site plan. But that's for the planning board, but he's just kind of looking at taking over the space that other people already used and was approved, I'm sure, for vehicles and things like that. AJ's been there for a while. He knows what the other person used for space, the glass company that was there. So
Right, the glass company had to use so many places for
yeah,
parking, so many for their trucks, so many for customers, and we don't know what that is.
right. So but the point I'm making is, it seems like, I don't think there would be an issue with the
Planning board.
planning board, but again, that's up to them with the site plan, because it looks like he's just taking over the space that was already used by the previous company that was there, and they used that space. So my biggest thing is the license for selling the cars. We're not increasing the number of cars, so I'm okay with that. He should go back. I don't know if the site plan really affects the license, but he needs to go back because he's changing how he's set up as far as the site plan. So I think it's, probably have the planning board look at it and go from there. But I don't think it affects his license to do business.
I
As far
agree.
as selling used cars, I agree with you.
However, the only concern I have is if he starts parking more cars there without going in before the planning board, or us notifying him and saying, yes, we're granting your license, because it's still the same for the sale of 6 used cars. And the display and sale of no more than 6 used cars at a time. The issue that I have is that if the building inspector zoning enforcement goes out and says, you shouldn't be parking cars on that left-hand side of the building, he's going to say, I had put in a site plan and nobody mentioned the issues regarding it. Okay.
Right.
So that's why I'm suggesting that a letter be sent along with the license from this board saying, we are approving the display and sale of used cars only. However, the additional vehicles that you indicated on your site plan drawing needs to go in front of the planning board for subsequent review and approval. That's all I'm saying we should do. That way it's on notice. We have it on file. The zoning enforcement has it on file, and planning has it on file, that we had a concern over the additional vehicles indicated on the drawing of the site.
And I agree 100%, as long as the letter's sent with them. But I also would give a follow-up date for 2 reasons, so we know that has been addressed, or that's being addressed, because now our license is out there, or his license is out there that we approved, but we have nothing we should have a date saying you have to this amount of time to follow up with the planning board and have approval for a new site plan. Either way, whatever the planning board decides to do, at least that way we know that it was followed through because we issued the license based on that. So we need to have some type of follow-up on our part. I think 60 days is fair. The planning board is meeting every couple weeks. So I think that's fair.
Actually, I think you're being more than fair because anytime anybody wants to change their site plan, you can't do it without permission. So I think you're giving them a 60-day grace period, which he normally wouldn't even get. I think you're being more than fair.
Right, so, but the 60 days is, again, I look at the site plan is changing, but he can't start using that space as indicated until he gets, until he sees the planning board on that. However, his license to operate his business is fully in effect.
I agree.
They're kind of two different things, but combined
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, he can sell the used cars, but he just has to go before the planning board like anybody else when you make major modifications to your site plan.
Right.
No different than anybody else.
So I give him a 60-day, a date, and somewhere we make sure that we follow up on that too in the 60 days, or if it's notification from him notifying us beforehand, is fine as well. Okay.
Would that be like 60 days to submit a application to the planning board for site plan review?
I think 60 days to be approved, because it gives, I mean, the planning board is going to look at it. If they have any questions, concerns, I mean, within a time frame. I mean, if he gets it out to gets on the planning board's agenda next couple weeks, next meeting, I think he would be fine. For some reason it doesn't work, he can always bring it back to us and says he's an extension based on the planning board not meeting or what have you. So, and that's understandable. All right. Jen, did you have a motion? Yeah. You want to go over it one more time?
Now that we've changed it up a little bit. I move to approve the license as read by Chris with the addendum of he has 60 days to be approved by the planning board for the new site plan.
I will second Jim's motion.
All right. Any further discussion this time? Not hearing any. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Now there's class 3.
Class 3 licenses, yes.
Catching on here.
Okay. We have license number 3-0001, motor vehicle junk license, class 3, to Suzuki of Western Mass, Inc., doing business as All Power, 43 West State Street. Land and buildings located at 43 West State Street. Restrictions: all storage and work must be performed inside. All storage and work must take place in the present repair shop of the motorcycle showroom building. Must not involve any cars. Unsalvageable scrap products and hazardous materials must be properly stored and disposed of. Expiring December 31st, 2021, fee $50. Then we have license number 3-0003, motor vehicle junk license class 3, Narakis Inc., doing business as Granby Auto Salvage, 115 School Street. Property is 9+ acres at 115 School Street, expiring December 31st, 2021, fee of $50.
Thank you, Chris. Is there a motion?
I move to approve the class 3 licenses as read by Chris.
Any discussion, comments, concerns? All right. All in favor?
I-
Aye.
Aye. All right, there we go. All right, that's all the class 1, class 2, class 3 licenses. Chris, anything else that you want to bring up before we move on to our old business? So, all right, maybe just an update on the water main project on 202.
I know that we had requested a letter in writing from South Hadley. We have not received that yet, to my knowledge. I did reach out to Mr. Sear. However, he has not responded to my email, but given the time of year, could be that he was on vacation. I did reach out to him by email again this morning. As of right now, I don't. I will try calling tomorrow so that I know it was very important to Jay to have that letter in hand that they were definitely going to give us the water. Have we heard anything back from our representatives? I didn't think we would have this early in the game. I mean, it was just 2 weeks ago and people are shut down for the holidays, more or less, but that's what I have in terms of what I was working on.
I think the big thing is, I know the Economic Development Committee was trying to find out, and Ken Comier with the planning board was supposed to find out what the status of the project is right now. Because what he was saying, if it was already in progress, the state was allowing the state projects to continue. But basically, if they hadn't broken ground yet, they were kind of on a hold because the state hadn't finalized its budget yet. So I think we need to find out where the project actually is, because our representatives are going to want to know what the state's intentions are, because their intentions are involved with us, because all we want is the in-kind funds. That's all we're asking for. We're not asking for anything special.
Chris, can we make it a point for our next agenda too? Well, that'll be on there anyways, an update for the water main project. But I'm just wondering, I know we sent out the letter to our reps and our senator and asking for some assistance. Assuming because of holidays, we haven't heard back from them, anybody yet. No, so maybe that can be on our, something for us to discuss our next thing, see if anything comes back by then, kind of through the holidays and stuff like that. Hoping that we will receive some type of feedback from them in regards to it.
If you want, I can send an email out to each one of them at their address at the State House and see if they can give me any response that way.
I think that's good. I think it says a follow-up email to the letter that we sent on such and such day.
You want me to reach out to PVPC Transportation Department and find out what the status of the project is?
I think that's a good idea, Jay. I think that'd be helpful. Yeah, be helpful
Because
for us to know where they stand.
Right, I can do that because I'm one of the commissioners, Granby commissioners for PVPC. So it's not like it's outside my realm to do that.
Well, thank you, Jay. Appreciate that.
You know.
All right. Do you have anything else, Chris? No? Do any of the board members have anything else? I know we do have an executive session on the agenda next, so.
The only thing I can tell you is on the green community project we're doing now, we're 1 week behind. Basically, last week, the school decided to close the day earlier than we had known about, and we didn't want to leave one side of the pump only half done. So he says, we'll wait till next week. So the second pump should be installed this week. And then automated logic would be the only ones that we're waiting for. And that's the software people the school requested. And so that put us 1 week behind because there was no sense taking the pump apart and leaving it apart over a 4-day weekend in case something happened. So that's
That
why
makes sense. Yep,
we
that
decided
makes
to do.
sense.
Yeah. And as far as solar block, the letter for Department of Energy went in today. About 3 o'clock it went in. It had to be in by 5. It went in at 3 o'clock today.
That's great. That's great. Thank you,
Yeah.
Kay, for that too. Appreciate
And
that.
I'm gonna put together the public thing, like I told you before. Once they release something public, I'll put something together and release it. But I'm not doing anything until they do it.
Yep, good. All right. You have nothing else at this time? All right. All right, well then I'll, moving into executive session, per Mass General Law 30-A-21-7. This is for us to discuss, HIPAA, concerns, or just basically just HIPAA, so that's, protected. All right, so at this
And
time,
we will only come out to adjourn regular sessions.
I was getting to that. You let me finish. And we'll only come out of executive session at that time to adjourn our regular session. At this time, we'll call for a roll call vote, so we can go into executive session. Sexton, aye.
Silva, I.
Joyce,
All right, we'll move into executive session at this time. It won't be broadcast. Thank you, folks, for whoever tuned in. Have a good night and have a safe year, hopefully.